Good morning, everyone. Okay, so today we are going to start our new module that's on the network analysis. We are having two methods in that particular module, the pert method and CPM method. But what I feel that before starting with that particular module, let's have some discussion. Let's have some discussion. So for 5 minutes, I would be trying to resolve each and every queries that you are having as a part of ESE 2. Before that, I ask you, let me clarify one or two things. Listen, this is not the endless activity. This is not the endless activity. Our semesters are not going to last for the infinite times. The declaration of the semester, the declaration of the result is not in my hand. It's in the hand of the exam controller of the university, and they won't be working as per our OT syllabus or as per our OT timeline. So I cannot give you much more time. I cannot give you the endless amount of the time to select a single research paper as a part of ESE2 component. There needs to be some end of this particular activity. There needs to be some end. I have given you the freedom to choose the paper. That doesn't mean that you will be doing the selection of the paper as per your own ways. That doesn't mean that. I know the people, I am taking the note of the people who have taken the permission from me to do that particular research paper. I am saying few of the students who are just writing and filling up the form. There are multiple duplications. And I know that these people who have replied later on without my permission has done these particular duplications because I am having the information about each and everyone's chat. So I am again requesting that don't make me to go in the harsh manner with your class. I have been quite polite. I am not that particular person who just lose the temper and just scolds everybody. But there are certain etiquettes, there are certain rules of my own self that you need to follow. These particular rules are nothing but they are simple rules. You need to take my permission for pursuing a particular paper as a part of your ESC component, and then you can directly fill up the form. Simple rule. I am getting multiple requests that whether I can do it in a group. Sir, my paper is of 16 pages in the research paper. So can I do it in the group? Why? As I told you anytime, any a single time that you can do this particular task in a group. As I told you that your number of the pages shouldn't be exceeding 10 pages. No. The lengthier research paper you will be selecting, it will be definitely easy for you to understand each and everything. It's not like that you need to read 16 pages. It's like you will be dedicating less amount of the time in understanding. Because more the detailed version, more information you will be getting in more dilute way. And that's the reason you can have that particular advantage. It's not like that you are selecting 16 pages, so I'll be telling you that, okay, you can do it in the group of 2. It's completely not relevant thing. And why you all are not understanding, I'm not pointing out to any one single student, or I won't be declaring anybody's name, but it simply just makes me feel like whether I am so much unclear to you, whether I have failed to convey the message to you that has led to this many of the queries, that whether we can do the ESE component in a group of 2. Is it so? If it was the project, then definitely I can help you to do the project in a group of 2. But it's the presentation, it's the research presentation. as a part of ESC component, how can I permit you to do that particular thing in a group of 2? Secondly, I am seeing multiple students who are not asking me, or they have asked me after filling up the form, and I have just denied, and they are telling that, okay, sir, can you please open this particular form for me, because I have filled some another paper and you have denied this particular paper. Whether I have told you to fill that before taking my permission. Here's I announced in any of the single class that you can fill the form before asking me. I have clearly mentioned in the group that there are 2 different versions. First is the asking, second is the informing. I use the version of asking and not informing. So the same thing should be done from your side. You need to ask me and you don't need to inform me. The reason for doing this particular thing is that I know which are the papers that I have allocated to you. So if the same paper has been picked up by you people, then I can definitely say that no, you cannot take this one. And many of the students, I don't understand why I am so much unclear to you, or why there are so many doubts. There can be the multiple reasons. Whether I am not able to convey the information properly to you, whether there is fault from my side, or the second thing is that although you have been present in the class, you are not listening to me. Although we are doing all these activities, but you are totally unattentive. Or the third probability is that you are listening, you are attentive, but you are forgetting whatever has been taught after the lecture. Again, I am repeating that whatever methods that we have done in the class, you don't need to do that. If you remember, I have told you that at the end of ESC2, we would be having 45 different methods of understanding. How these 45 different methods of understanding will be? I have told you that you will be doing, each and everyone will be doing some another technique or some application of the things that we have done, and you will be learning something new apart from the course. I want everybody to understand each and every research papers and implement in the manner that you can get the things very easily. I want to build that particular skill in you. I don't want that you just get afraid from the research papers. That's the reason I am asking you to have the research paper as a part of one of the major component of the evaluation. Why I have not kept it as a part of CSE? Why I have not kept it as a part of IA? And why ESC? Because I certainly believe that ESC component will make you more serious and sincere. So do that particular activity as soon as possible. I won't be having any of the things like it will be going on and on until unless the last person just fills the paper or fills this response. I will be giving you the list of the papers that has been selected till now. After the end of this particular session, I'll be just sharing that particular list with you so that you don't select that particular paper again. Now, another thing, this particular thing, I'm just again repeating, one of the method was a novel approximation method. Now, this particular paper, I don't know, that particular paper came to me for 5 times from 5 different people. That's completely fine. I don't have any of the hesitation. I don't have any of the hesitation because I have not kept it open to you all. I have not kept it as a view rights to you all, whatever the responses I'm getting. So that's completely fine, that selecting a same paper by the 5 people. But when I say that what is that approximation method, then out of the 5 people, 3 have responded that, okay, we are having the approximation of the Vogel's approximation method. Why? Why you are doing that particular method? They are the part of our course. So don't select the methods that are the part of our course. It's the simply wastage of your time and wastage of my time, because I may not give the response immediately. I am not looking every time into the WhatsApp only, that okay, whether this particular person has given me the question or not. No, I will be looking at the WhatsApp and I'll be giving you the approval. I need to look for each and every paper that you are sending me. I need to look at the URL that you are sending me. I need to go through each and every research paper that you are sending me. And then I can say that, okay, yes, whether you can do it or not. So don't waste your time also, don't waste my time also, just by asking the paper of Vogel's approximation method or the modified distribution method of the transportation problem. Why? That's already been taught to you in the class. Why to waste this type of the time? Please, I am again requesting, complete this activity within 1 or 2 days. I would be just, whenever I will be feeling that it's the end time, at that time I will be just declaring in the morning that okay, by tonight I am just ending this particular thing. Then you can't claim that okay, sir, you haven't given the response to me. At that time, 20 people, 30 people will be just awaking and just saying that okay, sir, I have selected this paper, whether it will be working or not, whether it will be working or not. No, don't do that thing. Once you have sent me the paper, it doesn't mean that it's the end of your task. If I am not giving the response to you for your message for a single day, within 24 hours, if I'm not giving you the message, there are the chances that your message has went down. There are multiple chats that I have unread. There are more than 50, 55 chats that I have not read. So there are the chances that I have just missed your chat. So there are the chances that I may not reply because of this type of the thing. So it's your responsibility to again just send me the message that please, sir, have a look over this particular paper and let me know whether I can do this paper or not. I am not saying that you can't message me. I am saying that you can remind me. You can also remind me if I have missed any of the thing. Okay. So that's all the set of the instructions from my side to you. Now you can ask me the questions, whatever comes into your mind, you can ask me about ESC2 component. I'll be spending 2 to 3 minutes more for this thing. Whatever questions you are having, you can ask me.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Which website did you say we should go to when you kindly download the research paper?
Okay.
Could you please repeat that again?
Right. So if you are not getting certain papers directly, then let me just share the link. You need to find the DOI number of that particular paper, and DOI number is openly available in the website or in the internet, and then you can just write the DOI number into this particular link of the Skyhub. I will just share the link in the chat box. So if anybody who missed that particular link, then you can just please take this particular link. Now again, now there is one more thing that I want to clarify. There are multiple papers whose DOI number are not available. Why this particular DOI number are not available? Because they are not belonging to the standard journal or standard conference. See, if you just look for the conferences, then you will be finding that there are multiple conferences that are having their headquarters in Ahmedabad. I can show you multiple conferences whose headquarters are there in the Ahmedabad. I'm not criticizing any of the conference, but this type of the conferences are not the standard conference. They are the paid conferences which will be giving you your papers to be accepted at the cost of your money. That are all the things. Even there is the education field, but these are all the bad activities that are going on in this field also. There is too much business in this field also. How? Then see, the people want their publications. The people want their papers to get published. They would be targeting the easiest way. How the easiest way will be there? By giving the money. And DOI number is the digital object identifier. This particular numbers will be given to those conference only, or this particular number will be given at the cost of your authenticity. So there would be certain papers who will that will not have the DOI number if there are two chances. If this particular paper is belonging from let's say around 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, at that particular time the DOI number was not there. Then came the era of the digitalization. Then the digitalization started slowly and slowly, and that's why the DOI number was being given, so that you can get the unified number, a unique number to each and every paper. Because before that there was no digitalization, before that there was no facility, much facility of the internet. The people were not able to access the internet. There was no sign of this type of the things. So nobody has thought of about the digital object identifiers. So you may not get the DOI number for those papers. And the another thing is that you may not get the DOI number for the papers published in the low rated conferences. And the information in the low rated conferences, I never believe that they would be authentic. Because say, trust me, they are the papers which may or may not contain the novelty, but that doesn't compete to that particular extent which a standard conference will be there. So I never believe in just hearing about those papers which are not having a standard value. So that's the reason you may not get the DOI number. So you can go through the paper, you can just write the paper and you will be definitely get the DOI number. In majority of the cases, you will definitely get the DOI number. You can even get the DOI number from the author's page. From the author's page. You know who are the author for that particular paper. You can go and search for that particular author, and you can get it from the Google Scholar author's page of in the Google Scholar. You can even get in the author's page of the ResearchGate. There are many authors who are already there in the ResearchGate, and in the ResearchGate they are asking the DOI number also, so they will be inserting the DOI number. So there are multiple ways to get the DOI number, but still if you are not getting the DOI number, you can send me the paper. I will be telling you what is the DOI number. Okay, anybody having any further doubt? Let's clarify all the doubts today. It's fine if we are missing out the lecture for further 2 to 3 minutes, but let's end this particular all the queries. Let's bring the end to this all the queries. Okay, how you need to present in the ESC? See, you first of all select your research paper, fill the form, and start reading the research paper. You start exploring this particular research paper. You understand each and everything. What is the purpose behind this particular research paper? What is the it's not the purpose is not to clear your ESC component. It's the purpose of why that particular paper was being written. So you need to think from the author's perspective. Which are the challenges that they have faced? Which are the opportunities that they have found out in the previously prevailing solutions and they have tried to solve it. You need to clearly mention the objective function with the constraints because the optimization technique, the operations research deals with that only. What are the target goals? How that particular target goal has been achieved? How the method is working? And if possible, you can even give the example. The example are the best thing to clarify all the questions. It's not like that you are only doing for clearing your ESC2 exam. It's for the other people also. At least I'm saying 5 out of the set of this 45-50 people, if you are getting the some new concepts, then it's the success of the activity that I want. At least 5 people, if I'm saying. So that's the reason I am always focusing on the other type of the learnings also apart from the bookish learning or the content, course content learning. We cannot cover all the things in as a part of our module. But doing this type of the activity may help you to understand the things in more better way. If you are writing in your resume about the optimization technique, then it is a very good plus point. Trust me, this particular subject is not there in every courses. This particular subject is there in only a few selected courses. You can just go and refer to the syllabus of different universities of different engineering departments. You may not find this particular course. That doesn't mean that this particular course is not worth. It means that it is so much worthy that you are getting this facility of learning this particular course, and it is a very advantage. Okay, so I have just responded to few of the messages that I have got. So any other doubt if you are having, you can just ask me. Okay, so let's start with our session. Let's start with our discussion of the network analysis. And now we are discussing about the nonlinear optimization. We are discussing about the nonlinear optimization, and this nonlinear optimization is very important as a part of the practical scenarios, because the practical scenarios may not always deal with the thing which are leading to the linearity. So that's the reason we are always focusing on the nonlinearity, and the nonlinearity is always there in the current methods. So that's the reason we are focusing on the nonlinear optimization. Okay. In the nonlinear optimization, we are going to have the network analysis as our first module. So let me just share the screen with you all. So I hope the whiteboard screen will be visible to you. In the network analysis, we are having pert method. Along with that, we are having CPM. What do you mean by pert method? It's the project evaluation and review technique. CPM method is critical path method. Now, in any of the activity that you are having, these are all related to some activities. These are related to some activities. Each activity will be constraining some time duration. Each activity will take some time. Each activity will take some time. Now, this time is nothing but the time to complete this particular activity. Time to complete this particular activity. The time starts from the very point of the allocation of the activity. The time starts from the very first point of the allocation of the activity. And the time ends when the activity is ended. So there are different types of the time also. There are three types of the time. There are three types of the time. These three types are nothing but they are the first one is the optimistic time. Let me just write. Optimistic time. The second one is most likely time. And the third one is pessimistic time. The first one is optimistic time. The second one is most likely time. And the third one is the pessimistic time. Now, what do we mean by the optimistic time? Optimistic time is the minimum most time. Pessimistic time is the maximum most time. And this is the overall average time. So if I just give you one of the example, let's say in a class, there are six people. There are six people who have been given the assignment to complete within the class or who have been given certain work to complete within the class. A completes the work in 3 hours. Now let's say the time is in 3 hours or hours, or rather hours. Let me just make it more convenient in terms of minutes. A completes in 120 minutes. Randomly, I'm just giving. B completes in 140 minutes. C completes in 120. D completes in 100 minutes. E completes in 115 minutes. And F completes in 110 minutes, let's say. Now, this is the time that the people have taken to complete this particular activity. This is the time that the people have taken to complete this particular activity. So that means that which is the minimum most time? The minimum most time is 100 minutes. And it is been by D. The maximum most time is, this is the minutes. The maximum most time is by B and it's 140 minutes. So this minimum most time is called as the optimistic time. And the maximum most time is called as the pessimistic time. What do you mean by optimistic time? That The optimistic time means that at least the particular activity takes this much amount of time. It's at least the time taken by this activity is this much. That means that if I'm giving you the activity, then at least I need to give you 100 minutes. If I'm giving you the activity, then at least I need to give you 100 minutes. Pessimistic time is nothing but you cannot exceed 140 minutes to complete this particular activity. You cannot exceed 140 minutes to complete this particular activity. That means you will be completing the activity in 140 minutes, definitely. Definitely the class has finished all the activities in this 140 minutes. Now, the remaining ones, 120, 120, 115, 110. So we just do the average of all these things. So it's 120, 120, 115, 110. Divide by 4. Let's do the average. It's 240, 350, 465 divided by 4. It's 1, it's 25, so 6.25. 116.25. So the most likely time, I would be saying most likely time. That means that there is the most likely time that the activity will be get completed. There is the most likely time that the activity will get completed, and that's what it is, 116.25. So it means that the activity, that particular activity, I won't be saying the most likely time, but let me just rephrase this particular term. It's the average time, let's say, because I am doing the average of this thing. That's the reason I have just modified the name to average time, because I will be telling you what do we mean by the most likely time afterwards. So it means that the average time to complete this particular activity is 116 minutes. So it means that the entire, this particular 3 times, that is the optimistic, pessimistic, and the average time, means that your activity won't be taking less than 100 minutes. Your activity won't be taking more than 140 minutes. Your activity is taking approximately 116 minutes. So that's the average time. So whenever a particular activity is being given to you, whenever a particular activity is being given to you, we never focus on the optimistic time or the pessimistic time. Remember this thing. We never focus on the optimistic time or the pessimistic time. We always focus on this particular time. Or if I change my statement, then we focus very less on these 2 times. Our weightage for this time and this time will be very less. Rather, our weightage for this time will be higher. The weightage for this time will be higher. This is the average time. This is the average time. Most likely time is approximately equals to the average time. Approximately equals to the average time. How? Then average time generally takes the equal weightage to all the activities or all the people. Most likely time may or may not have the equal importance to each and every student. If I am just saying that, okay, this is the particular student on whom I trust more in terms of finishing the paper, then I will be giving the weightage to this particular student's response 2 times, let's say. So I will be setting the weightage over here to this particular person. So that's what I mean by most likely time. So these are the three times that we always focus in assigning a time duration to a particular activity, but we never rely on the optimistic and pessimistic time. We always rely on the most likely time. If I am giving you the exam paper, if I'm giving you the exam paper, this was what I observed in the recent ESE1 exam. 2 to 3 people have told me that, okay, sir, we have completed the paper before 10 minutes. Before 10 to 15 minutes, even before 15 minutes, I got one response that we have completed the paper. That at that time I was observing this only. At that particular time, if I would be saying that, okay, then everybody just stop it. I can't, because I can't rely on the optimistic time. It was not like that the first person, whenever would be completing or be ending the exam. The second one is the people were asking me that please give us 10 minutes more, 15 minutes more, 20 minutes more, or so on and so forth. I have seen multiple messages. I have got multiple messages that please give us 15 minutes more. I can't rely on them. I can't give everybody 15 minutes more. I can give 5 minutes more. That's what I have given also. Most likely time is the average opinion by looking into all the students. I can't rely only on the optimistic time. I can't rely only on the pessimistic time. I need to rely on the most likely time. And that's what any of the activity will be having. So these are the three types of the time that you will be dealing with in this particular module. Now, if I am saying that, okay, or let's say if someone is asking me that how much time should I be giving to the students, or let's say if I'm taking this particular course at this particular moment, after 1 year, some another person, let's for example, replaces me in this particular course. If some another person replaces me in this particular course, then he will be asking me that what should I be giving the time in ESC1. Now the paper for ESC won't be the same, but at least I have more experience in setting up the paper of ESC, so I can give the suggestion that you can set in this particular manner. And he will be asking that what should be I be giving the time to the students. Then should I be saying that, okay, you should be giving the time duration as the optimistic time to be, let's say, 100 minutes. You can give the pessimistic time to be, let's say, 140 minutes. And you can give the most likely time to be, let's say, 116 minutes. That particular person will get mad. How can I give three type of the times? I won't be saying that, okay, you can give 100 minutes, 140 minutes, 116 minutes as the optimistic, pessimistic, and most likely time, respectively. No, that person will go mad. So what I will be doing, I will be taking this all the three terms. I will be taking all these three terms and I will be finding the time of activity. Time of activity. Now, as I said that, okay, I may not always rely on this optimistic time. I may not always rely on the pessimistic time. I may not always, or I will be mostly relying on this particular most likely time. But that doesn't mean that I will be relying 100% on this particular time. So what I will be doing, time of activity, let's say I am denoting by TA, time of activity is equals to time of optimistic time plus pessimistic time plus 4 times most likely time divided by 6. So that's what I am doing as the weighted average. Weighted average. Why I am taking 4 times? Because I am giving more importance to this particular most likely time. So if I need to say that what time should I be giving, how much time that a person should be giving to this particular activity, then I will be finding time of activity to be equal to 100 plus 140 plus 4 into 116 or 4 into 116 divided by 6. So let's do it. It's 240 plus it will be 464 divided by 6. So it will be something around 704 divided by 6. It's approximately equals to 114. So something around 114. I don't know. Let's sorry 144. It's so 117.5. Okay, I am just repeating this particular explanation. So see, optimistic time is the first person who completes that particular activity. Pessimistic time is the last person who completes the particular activity, and most likely time is the average of all the students who will be completing the activity. You can just as of now consider to be the average of all the students who will be completing the activity. So the optimistic time has been set to 100, the pessimistic time is set to 140, and the most likely time is set to 116. Now, whenever someone would be asking that, okay, what is the activity time? What is the activity time? So at that time, I would be using this formula. What does this formula mean? It is the time to activity is equals to the optimistic time plus pessimistic time plus 4 times the most likely time divided by 6. Why divided by 6? Because if you look over here, in this particular case, if you look, then we are having the average. We are having the average in this particular case. We are having the average of all these things. We are having the equal weightage to all these things and divide by 4. So same thing we are having over here. We are having 1 time the weightage of the optimistic time, 1 time the weightage of the pessimistic time, and 4 times the weightage of the most likely time. Why? Because this is the place where majority of the class will be lying. This is the place where majority of the class will be lying. It's same as if I just draw the probabilistic distribution of all these times, then it's same as this type of the dumbbell shape. Where this particular part is the optimistic time, this particular part is the pessimistic time, and this is the region where majority of the students will be lying. So I will be giving the weightage more over here. Why? Because the density of the students will be over here more. This you can consider to be nothing but TM, most likely time. So what I will be doing, instead of taking directly the average, I can also take the direct average, let's say the time of activity by TO plus TP plus TM divided by 3. But that means that I am giving the equal weightage to the optimistic, pessimistic, and the most likely time. If I would be taking the direct average, let's say TA is equals to TO plus TP plus TM divided by 3. Then it means I would be taking the equal weightage. I will be giving the equal weightage to all the activities. I will be giving the equal weightage to all the activities. And that means that if I will be giving the equal weightage to all the activities, then it means I will be directly taking, let's say 100 plus 140 plus 116 divided by 3. And in this particular case, I would be having, let's say 100 plus 140 plus 116. So it will be 340, 356 divided by 3. So it has 1, then 1 something 26, 8 something around 8.75 something, let's say. So I will be more biased towards the pessimistic, but I want the nearer time that when I can give the justification to the students. So at that time, you can take this type of the weighted average where you are giving more weightage to the TM, that is the most likely time. Now I have got over here a very good question from Karan that 117.5 is also the average time of all 6 students, and we got weighted average also 117.5. Why? The reason is that, he has also given the reason that maybe because it is of in weighted average, we are considering highest time, lowest time, and the other four. Yes, that is also the reason. The another reason is that we are over here. I will just unintentionally taken the 6 students only. I have taken unintentionally the 6 students in the class. If you would be having the 60 students, if you would be having the 60 students, then you will be having this different thing. You will be having the different things over here. Because I have taken the 6 students and the average is based on the 6 only. So that's the reason you will be getting more time inclined to that. Because if you just make 4 into TM, that is the average, TM was considered to be 116 this particular time. So it's nothing but 4 into TM. TM was considered to be the average of this all. It was 120 plus 120 plus 115 plus what was that? 120, 120, 115 plus 110 divided by 4. So it's nothing but it will get cancelled out and this will be that. So plus optimistic time TO plus TP divided by 6. So this is nothing but the average of this only. So that is the reason in this particular case you are getting the same time. But if I will be considering the entire class of let's say 60 students, then you won't be getting the same answer. But this is more or the less in this particular case you are getting the average of all the 6 directly as the time to activity. Why? Because of this particular reason. So in the question, you will be given certain set of the activities. You will be given certain set of the activities. What you will be given? You will be given certain set of activities. Along with that, you will be giving the precedence of the activity. That means after which activity you will be doing which one. Let's say if I am saying that, okay, the activity B needs to be done after activity A. Or activity A doesn't have any of the previous activity. That means activity A doesn't have any prerequisite. Activity C can be done only after activity A. So that means that you can start with activity A. After activity A, you will be doing B. Even C can be done after A, so you will be doing C also over here. So like this type of the network structure we will be building up. Like this network structure will be building up. Along with this, you will be given the time durations. The time durations for each of the activity will be optimistic time, pessimistic time, and the most likely time. For each of the activity, you will be given this type of the time durations, optimistic, pessimistic, and the most likely. And from this thing, you need to find out the time to activity. That means TA. And from this time to activity, we will be solving our question. From this time to activity, we will be solving our question. And then we will be switching to the CPM, that is the critical path finding. What is the critical path? We will be looking it into our that discussion in the next lecture. So this is what our flow will be to learn this network analysis. So by the end of this week, we would be having the clear idea about the network analysis. We are having the 2 lectures in this particular week, so we would be having the clear idea about the network analysis. And we would be able to solve the questions related to this one. So this will be the type of the format which you will be having in your examples for this particular module. And it will be really fun to do this type of the questions because you will be really enjoying the things. You will be having different scenarios to deal with. Okay, so we will be learning this particular module in more detail in our next sessions. As of now, if you are having any of the doubt, then you can ask me. or else you can leave the session. Write your roll number and name in the chat box for the attendance, and you can leave the session. Just quickly write your roll number and name in the chat box for the attendance. And if you are having any of the doubt, then you can ask